people who say money can't buy joy are usually those people who already have a lot of money in their bank accounts, which is kind of true in a way, even if you're just middle class, I guess, because you'd kind of realize that like there's more things than just money, like love and family and a brand new Ferrari. Oops, that's unrelated, but subscribe so I can buy one. But money is definitely still so useful for those who don't have it. It's a struggle, and it pushes us, in a way, to do uncomfortable things, just like the young student in this film, who desperately starts working as a prostitute so that she can pay her college fees and support herself financially. But this is not how her story ends, as her hard work and urge to study finally pays off. Hey guys and girls, this is V, and you are watching Movies Hunter. So the movie I am going to talk about in this video is a drama film released in 2010 called Student Services. It's kind of a cool title actually. Kind of fits, right? So anyway, while attending a lecture, Laura, let's call her L just because it's nice, it's just like V but like L. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. L suddenly faints in class. She learns that her body is weak as she hasn't eaten anything. Elle's financial condition is not good and she barely can pay her college fees. So the teacher advises Elle to eat more meat to stay healthy, but Elle says that meat is too expensive. So she is advised by her teacher to sue her parents for not looking after her. Elle somehow refuses, saying that her parents are simply unable to provide her money, even if they want to, as both her parents are working to earn a living. Elle lives with her boyfriend Manu at his apartment, where they share the rent. Both of them are struggling financially. Since their payments for the electricity are overdue, the energy provider cuts off the power. Elle gets frustrated by her life and decides to find a second part-time job. And after some searching and all that, she comes across an advertisement by a man named Joe who is looking to give a massage to beautiful young students, as he is paying a handsome amount of money. Elle decides to apply for the job. Joe sends his photo to Elle and also clarifies that they won't get physical. So the next day, Elle goes to meet Joe at a hotel. After getting inside the hotel room, Joe gives Elle a letter which says that Elle will have to undress first. Elle is very nervous and she hesitates at first, but she eventually proceeds to take off her clothes. After getting completely naked, Elle is instructed to take a shower. When she comes out of the bathroom, she sees Joe lying on the bed in his underwear. Elle is somewhat ashamed of the entire experience, but Joe, being a professional, continues to give her instructions. After caressing each other for a while, Joe and Elle start talking to each other about their personal life. Once the time is up, Joe pays Elle the agreed amount. Elle is very happy with her first payment and she goes to have a little party with her friends. She could have saved money, we could have been done with the movie, but no, apparently. Anyway, during her free time, Elle works part-time in a call center. She also continues looking for more clients who are willing to pay good money. And a few days later, she actually manages to find her second client and goes to meet him at a local restaurant. The man is nervous and says that this is his first time doing something like this, so Elle tells him that they should go somewhere private. The man then takes her to a parking lot where they are completely alone. This time, Elle is more confident than before, so she takes the first initiative. But the man wants more than just a massage and forces himself on Elle, who is completely helpless. After he is done, he leaves Elle there and pays her the agreed amount. Elle then returns home and tells Manu everything that happened to her, hoping to get some sympathy from him. But instead of understanding Elle, Manu is unfazed by her cries. Angry, Elle decides to break up with him and moves out of his apartment. As her exams are nearing, Elle studies whenever and wherever she can. While studying at a local bar, for I don't know what reason, she meets a man named Benjamin. After some drinking and talking, the two become really close. While walking back home, Benny, let's call him Benny, kisses Elle. She also kisses him back and hugs him as she finds comfort in him. In her free time, Elle sometimes becomes a model for adult magazines to earn some extra money. After the photo shoot, the photographer offers Elle to be part of an adult video with a guy and a girl who is also a student. But Elle refuses, saying that posing naked for the photo shoot doesn't mean she will let anyone touch her body. One night, Elle talks to one of her friends who also offers adult services like her. Elle's friend reveals that she has been hired by more than 20 clients and has earned a lot of money, which she then used to buy expensive gifts. Elle realizes that many of her female classmates who own expensive things may also be offering adult services. So she is tempted by the idea of being able to buy expensive gifts whenever she wants. And me too, so subscribe and comment so I can buy a frittata, whatever that is. Anyway, guys, one day when Elle is working as a maid, the owner of the house offers Elle to live with him as he is attracted to her beauty. She doesn't have to pay rent for the room as the owner of the house wants her body as payment. But Elle refuses, saying that she needs some time to think it over. She reminds herself that she is not a woman of the street, and the only reason she is offering adult services is to pay her university fees. Elle takes the university exams and scores excellent marks. As her final semester exam is now around the corner, Elle decides to buy a laptop to study more efficiently, but she learns that she doesn't have enough money to afford one. So she contacts her first client, Joe, hoping to earn some easy money from him. So the next day, she goes to meet Joe in the hotel room and finds a laptop there, which is a gift from him. But in exchange for such an expensive gift, Joe wants more this time. Oh no. So he ties Elle and gets aggressively physical with her. But Elle somehow manages to free herself and quickly gets dressed. She hurriedly grabs the laptop, takes her payment, and runs home. Elle is horrified by the incident, as anything could have happened to her had she not freed herself from the bindings. Later, she calls Benjamin to her apartment. Elle tells him everything that happened to her, and that she offers adult services. But Benjamin is not bothered by it and comforts Elle, saying that he really cares about her and doesn't mind what she does for a living. Elle regains her confidence and resumes offering her adult services. She juggles between her new job and her studies and tries to manage them both. Because of this, she barely has time for Benny. He eventually loses his temper when one of Elle's clients keeps calling her and interrupting their date night. One day, Elle goes to meet Joe again. Oh my god. Despite knowing what he did to her last time. When Benjamin learns about this, he of course gets furious as he believes that Elle only cares about the money now and she doesn't love him anymore. Elle apologizes to Benny and assures him that she will stop seeing Joe. But Benjamin is fed up with being jealous all the time and just decides to break up with Elle. Elle also loses her temper and insults Benny by saying that he doesn't know what it means to earn money as he never went to college. Oopsie, that's just too far, Elle. It's too far, man. You can't say that. Anyway, she even calls Benny a spoiled papa's boy. Come on, man. You can't say that. Anyway, she was so furious that she goes to see the photographer and asks him to delete all her photos. But when the camera guy refuses, Elle gets even more furious and attacks him. I do wish she controlled her impulses, but now she is completely lost and decides to just quit. Elle is fed up with everything and is now planning to move to Paris to start afresh. When she tells Joe about this, he offers her like $1,000 to spend 5 hours with him. So Elle agrees to meet him one more time, oh my god, as the money could help her pay her expenses. So the two of them go to a club, but plot twist, Joe's friends are there and they sadly take advantage of her. After they were done with her services, Elle just leaves the club. She is completely exhausted after serving Joe and his friends, so she returns to the hotel with Joe and demands he pays her the agreed amount. She then goes to the bathroom to cry, but when she goes out of the bathroom, she just finds an envelope on the bed which only has $100 in it. She learns that Joe took advantage of her situation and cheated her by promising her $1,000. She finds a letter left by Joe who tells her that he will pay the rest of the money the next time they meet. So I guess at this point she just feels defeated by the whole situation, as no matter how hard she tries to quit, she is forced back into the adult business. The next day, she goes to the university and tells her friends that she is moving out of town. Elle even asks her friend to send her notes so that she can prepare for the exams without having to attend any lectures. Elle doesn't have the courage anymore to live in the city in shame, which took so much from her. She then gets on the train and hides in the toilet as she doesn't have any money left to buy a ticket. She calls Joe and asks him to pay the remaining money, but Joe says that he got cancer. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, he can't transfer her money anymore. After arriving in Paris, Elle moves into a friend's dorm. The next day, she goes out to find jobs but fails to find any. However, after struggling for a while, she does manage to find a job at a local restaurant. On the day of the final exams, Elle returns to the city that almost destroyed her life. It's actually her who tried to destroy her life, but whatever. I mean, she's poor and she had all these circumstances, but whatever. But she nonetheless sincerely takes the exam as she wants to achieve her dreams. On the day of the results, Elle is overjoyed to learn that she has passed the exam with flying colors and celebrates with her new friends. She calls Joe one last time and tells him that she graduated with excellent marks. I don't know, maybe this gives her some peace and, well, she no longer needs to sell her body and can finally live a decent life by doing what she loves, so I think that's good. She eventually becomes a writer and writes about her struggle as a student, which instantly becomes a national sensation. During a live interview, she reveals that thousands of students live in extreme poverty and many other students struggle to pay for their studies. It is the major reason why most female students start offering adult services to pay their expenses. For them, it isn't really a choice, but a necessity to survive. And so guys, this was the story of student services. Leave your thoughts down below, tell me what you think, give this movie a thumbs up. If you liked it, it's free. So yeah, see you in the next hunt.